Peace family. So I'm back with another one. So today what I wanted to do is I wanted to touch base on the quote-unquote flying monkeys of the narcissists, which over here, you know, we just pertain to them as the demons or the ones that move around doing that witchy shit. But I wanted people to really get an understanding of how strong these entities have to be within unknown demonic forces to have flying monkeys. So you know the concept and ideology of the flying monkeys come from the Wizard of Oz. So with them interpreting the Oz having all these flying monkeys to run around doing his work and his bidding, the Oz was a pretty powerful character in the movie. So when you correlate that into real life and into these demons out here today and the wording that we're using, it would have to be understood that these are very powerful demons that we deal with and that we're all talking about and discussing, that we're having encounters and interactions with. To be able to have a bunch of beings that just fly around and do what the fuck ever for you, you have to have some kind of power. Now, unfortunately, their power is of the oppositions and with the demonic forces, but it's like being the captain or the leader of a team. You know, that's a pretty powerful position. So when we running in and we dealing with these narcs and you know, some people are victims, some are just, you know, they just become like, I don't know what you call it, warriors of the battle, you know, because everybody isn't a victim of the situation. But these are pretty powerful demons that we dealing with. To just have different beings and people and other entities flying around and doing the work and the bidding for you, and to be up late hours working witchy magic shit all night and all times of hours. Like, when you can make a phone call and just all of a sudden have 2 or 3 people just at your feet and doing whatever for you, it don't matter if you having them jump off a bridge, that's a pretty kind of like that's a pretty toxic form of control. And usually these people gain control over these flying monkeys is by the same tactics. You know, they're usually paying these people to be their friends or to be their peers or to stay their brother or sister or however the situation is set up for them. You know what I'm saying? It's always some kind of tactic that they use to gain the upper hand on these monkeys. But once they gain the upper hand on the monkeys they pretty loyal to the ops too, you know, but they're on a lower frequency. So that's why these monkeys are cool with just flying around and doing all the bidding for the head demon in charge. You know, it's not the head one of the head, but when you think about rankings and you think about just that concept of flying monkeys, like the monkeys would be down here, and then you would have the narc right up here somewhere, and then you have the other generals and captains and however else and move up in the rankings and so on and so forth. So I think this is what a lot of the issue is that we're all facing a lot of these demons now, because the spiritual war is getting harder, tougher, stronger. The light beings, we out here working non-stop too, the same way they out here working. So flying monkeys are definitely on the demonic force team. And when you are able to just pick up and move at the drop of a dime, or to do something for somebody in an unhealthy manner, that's a clear sign of who you're moving with and what side you're on, what team you vibing with. I had some situations where it was a couple people, whether it was, I just said I had a couple situations, and they flying monkeys like if they wanted their flying monkey to ride with them to pull up to my house, because for one situation they wasn't a fighter, and I wouldn't put my hands on a female, but in their minds they need another masculine energy to pull up with them. So they have a female friend that they could always call on to go get, or they'll have the other flying monkey like gang stalk your pages, or or to just tap in. They be like, oh hey, can you see what such and such is doing? They blocked me on such and such. I just want to see if they posted anything about me, or if they talking shit about me, or something like your whole life revolves around them, or talking shit or putting out that kind of energy about them. The monkeys are always going to fly because they're also a source of supply. So they never disappear. They just kind of, they kind of get put in the closet for a little while if they're not being utilized. I had one time one of the narcs used a flying monkey of an associate that I didn't know, but I thought it wasn't even them making a fake page, because they just used another being's page who I didn't know of, and tried to reach out and to communicate with me as if like I was something easy, like I didn't have any value or anything to me. So just the kind of steps and the tactics that they use it's all of the opposition. It's nothing out of the ordinary of everything that happens in that realm. So I would just be extremely mindful of when you're dealing with the narcs, because you have to understand that they signed an agreement, and if they have flying monkeys, that mean they're highly deep in there. You don't just get that deep in the demonic forces in that realm and have flying monkeys and then you just throw that power away. They work too hard for power and control, which is why they're moving up in the rankings. They're moving up. They are moving up. I ran into 3 of them, but that wasn't until I started sending. And I knew I was stronger than them, but it was weird because they had like this weird, like, it wasn't even strength. It was like this weird intimidation energy, like, but just didn't work on me. So, and even with the monkeys, like, it doesn't matter how many you send, what kind of tactics you use. Like, once you deal with one of them, one of the narcs, like, you automatically know and aware of all the tactics that they're going to use. Because it's like clockwork. They all go to the same school. They all got the same curriculum. They all got the same workbooks. Like, it's all the same. Same shit I experienced over here in the U.S., in VA, Virginia. The same thing I know people that's experiencing in New York, that's experiencing in Florida. I got people tapped in overseas in the UK, like all over the place. And everybody is experiencing the same shit. That's how you know it's more of an energy, it's a frequency, it's a vibe, more so than just the actual being itself in this 3D realm that we operating in. These narcs are some, they powerful demons. They still weak, but they powerful as far as in the rankings, to be able to have other little demonic monkeys running around behind you, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not doing anything productive. They're not doing anything of any value. They got to that position from moving up in the rankings. You have to understand that these people and these beings never change. They hibernate. They hibernate. They don't change. They don't change. What they do is, oh, this mask isn't working? Let me turn it around on this side and see if this mask works. Or I hang out with this person, let me add some shit on that I learned from this person. I had one person, had a few people, but just for instance, they pick up little pieces from each relationship and encounter they run in and they deal with. And they slowly take bits and pieces from different beings. But that's getting away from the subject, that still has to do with like how they maintain their power and them being pretty powerful beings in the spiritual realm. and it's not to be ignored. And you have to understand that when you are battling, you have to know the strengths of the warriors that you face, and if you don't know, then you have to be alert of the tactics that they could possibly use, or the strengths that they could possibly have. You know, yeah, we got the creator riding with us, but you know, at the end of the day, like, we still have to do our part too. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want running up too long. Y'all make sure y'all tapping everything down below. Peace to the kings and queens.